Madam President, I take this time to first thank the Democratic leadership for bringing forward a bill that would extend unemployment insurance, COBRA protection, which allows unemployed to be able to get health insurance, and to extend our highway program and the reimbursement structure for our physicians under Medicare so that our seniors can continue to receive the health care that they need. We have a short-term extension that many of my colleagues have been talking about that would extend these programs so that there would be no gap in the unemployment insurance protection that Americans are currently receiving as of February 28th, to be able to continue to get the COBRA protections, to be able to continue our highway program. And as has been pointed out, one senator has exercised his right to object, which has caused major problems for this country. And I feel compelled to talk about this because there are real people being hurt by that decision. We need a short-term extension so that we can continue the orderly process. It's the right thing to do. We all talk about jobs. We need jobs. And each of us are committed to bringing up legislation that will create more job opportunities for Americans. And the bill that will be on the floor will help us in that effort by extending important tax provisions so that businesses can invest in more jobs for Americans, extending the unemployment insurance. And here, Madam President, let me point out, for every dollar we spend in unemployment compensation, it brings back $1.9 to our economy. It's the best stimulus dollar that you can put out there. It's immediate. And this is an insurance program where employees and employers put money away during good times to pay for benefits during recessions and tough times. So we're in a tough time. There are millions of Americans who can't find jobs, who are looking for jobs. Americans want to work, but can't find work. Many have been looking for work for a long time, for over a year. And now, because of the objection of a senator, the benefits that should be paid this week cannot be paid this week. In my own state of Maryland, 16,405 people were cut off as of Monday from their unemployment compensation. Each one of these individuals represent a family, represent how they're going to be able to feed their families, how they're going to be able to keep their house out of foreclosure. It's wrong. They can't find work because there's not enough jobs out there. And we're going to extend unemployment compensation. I feel confident we will. But it's wrong for us to have this gap because of the objections of one senator. It's hurting our economy. That's money that should be in our economy, where the people who receive this unemployment insurance would use it to buy food, to make purchases, to help our economy. Well, those dollars are being lost because of the objection of one senator. The same thing's true with the COBRA protection. COBRA protection says to a person who's unemployed, who lost their job, that we're going to help make sure they can maintain their insurance for their family. And now, because of the objections of a senator, that help is no longer available to those who are unemployed. As of January, there were 6.3 million Americans who had been unemployed for 6 months or longer. Think about that, Madam President. How can you afford to pay your insurance premiums for health care if you've been unemployed for 6 months? That's why we passed COBRA protection for those who've lost their jobs, so that they can maintain their health insurance for their families, to keep them out of bankruptcy, to make sure that if they have an emergency, their family can get the needed health care and make sure that it's properly reimbursed. Well, we all agree that should be done, and the underlining bill that we'll be taking up later today will extend that throughout the year, which is what we should do. But in the meantime, it expired on Monday, that protection, because of the objections of an individual senator. And then there's the short-term extension of the highway program. I want to mention that because 2,000 employees of the Department of Transportation just got furlough notices because of the failure to extend that program. Now, I could tell you what it means, but I tell you what it means in my own state of Maryland. It halted work on federal lands We had a project at Great Falls Entrance Road construction, a $3.1 million project in Montgomery County, stopped as a result of the failure to pass this short-term extension. And I could talk about the situation in Medicare. Now, CMS is doing everything they can to make sure that the physicians, the 600,000 physicians who treat our seniors every day, will continue to participate in the Medicare system. But as of Monday, there was a 21.2% cut in physician reimbursement rates. That's unconscionable, unreasonable, and it will deny our seniors access to care. We need to do this in an orderly way. The extension that the majority leader and the assistant majority leader have made repeatedly on the floor to allow for this short-term extension that the overwhelming majority of members of Congress strongly support. We need to move forward with that. And then let's come to the floor and debate the longer-term extensions. I just got a feeling that when that vote comes up on the floor of this body, you're going to see an overwhelming number of members voting in favor of the extension of unemployment compensation and insurance protection for the unemployed. Because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do as a nation in a recession. It's the right thing to do in order to strengthen our economy and to create more job opportunities, because that money is spent in our community and keeps jobs and expands jobs. It must be part of our strategy in creating more job opportunities for Americans. So Madam President, I take the floor to encourage my colleague to withdraw his objection. Let us move forward in a way that is in the interest of the American people, in the interest of our economy, so that we can continue to see the types of improvements for job opportunity in America. That should be our priority. It's not a partisan issue. Shouldn't be a partisan issue. We need to work together, Democrats and Republicans, and it starts by removing the objection. Let us get this short-term extension and then come to the floor. Let's debate the bill that's on the floor that will extend it through the end of the year, as we should. That's what we should be doing today to help the people of Maryland, the people around this nation, and to help our economy grow.